Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess we can get started, talk through a little bit about us and
Yep.
how we got into crypto. I think is interesting,
Yep.
and then we can just kind of dive right into
All
news and
right.
see what we got this week.
Sounds good. All right. So I can get started with my journey here. So I started just investing. I first heard about Bitcoin about 10 years ago now, I would say. Someone at work told me about it, and he was super into it. And he was on Bitcoin Talk a lot, which Bitcoin Talk was really like the only place to really go for to talk about it at the time. And I brushed him off. I kind of thought it was a little ridiculous. And I essentially just ignored him. And that was probably one of the biggest mistakes in my life. And then I took a look at it a couple of years later and saw the price was much higher than when my friend told me about it. So I threw some money in. I think it was like, this was 2015. So I think it was like $600 at the time. Didn't know anything about investing, didn't know anything about price movements or trends or anything like that. So it went to 1,000 previously, and then it went to 600. I didn't see that part, right? So I threw some money in, and then it dropped more. It dropped to like $200, and I took my money out. I was like, screw this. This thing is dead, right? Like, again, terrible decision. I didn't throw more money than I could afford to lose or anything, but it was just like I didn't know shit. And then 2017 hits, and now it's like $2,000, and I'm like, hey, this is not going away. This is here, and that's when I really decided to do more research on Bitcoin and crypto, and I really, really got excited about the industry. And I understood Bitcoin pretty simply, but Ethereum was really the thing that blew my mind. I remember I was up like an entire night after I learned about Ethereum because I realized that our whole world was going to change. That this was a technology that would literally rewrite the internet, remake a new internet. So I invested. I played the markets in 2017. I made a lot of money, but I also lost a lot of money. But I ended up learning a lot about the industry and realized that I needed to stick around for this. And I ended up sticking around 2018, 2019. I mined Monero for a little bit. That was fun. Uh, and then in
Nice.
2020, I got into Axie Infinity and Solana pretty early. So I rode that wave up,
Wow.
did pretty nicely. Yeah, I did pretty nicely in the last one. I got super lucky, honestly. I still believe in Solana, but I did really well in that last bubble, and I, again, I made a lot of money. I lost money, but ultimately did pretty well here, and I'm a hardened investor now. I'm here for the long term, and I'm getting ready for this next run, and really excited about the tech. Really excited about the potential that it affords us just for economic opportunity and business opportunity. And that's me. I'm not working in the industry full time just yet, but I hope to one day in some capacity. But right now, I'm still a DGen, still just an investor. And that's me.
Very cool. I don't know. Did you want to talk about what you do, kind of like outside of crypto, like for your work? Because you're in tech, right? Like you're kind of
That's,
doing mostly engineering work, kind of Web
yeah.
two.
So I am a tech guy, which helps me really understand crypto also. I'm a DevOps engineer, which essentially means like cloud engineer. I do a lot of AWS type work, just deployments and running software in AWS and automating it and automating the deployments and whatnot. I work in healthcare at the moment for a healthcare company, but I do, again, I'm still in crypto on the side, but yeah, definitely a tech guy. I used to write code back in the day. Still do write some code, but not as much.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a lot of need for infrastructure right now in
Yep.
crypto. That's cool. And the person that you met, was that a person you knew in like in reality, like the
Yeah.
Bitcoin?
An in real life
Okay.
friend. Yes. I worked with him,
Hell yeah.
and he was so into it, man. He would always tell me like, go on Bitcoin Talk, you should buy some. And I should reach back out to him and ask if he still has it. I really hope that he kept it. I really hope he did. But like his LinkedIn shows he's still working, so I'm not
Mm.
sure. But if he did, I mean, if he bought a lot of it back then and just kept it, he should have been retired by now. He easily could have been retired. So
Maybe he just is so rich he like doesn't even update his LinkedIn anymore. It's
yeah,
just like, yeah, what's
yeah,
LinkedIn? Like forgot his
yeah,
account.
right. He's just off the face of the planet now. He's on some island somewhere, and he hasn't logged into his LinkedIn in like 6 years or something.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
could be.
Yeah, yeah. I got into crypto. Well, let's see. I first heard about it probably 2014. There was a summer in which a friend in high school, it was found out that some illicit substances were purchased on the Silk Road using Bitcoin. And that was just my first hearing about it. Then it was like, whoa, like, what the hell is Bitcoin? As like, found out that it was acquired through mining. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I just had the typical association of probably 99.9% people, just like this
Mm.
is, used for illicit activities. And I would say it kind of remained that way, honestly, probably until 2017, mostly
Mm.
just buying random shitcoins. And I kind of did the whole Binance thing. And yeah, essentially just kind of rode that wave up and then rode it right back down, and it essentially got wiped out. Didn't really understand anything else. And then later came back to crypto in 2019. There was like an offer at my college to participate in a research project looking at tracking crypto transactions on the blockchain. And then the project turned into an analysis of phishing scam wallets. Like, there'd be like a Twitter post of like a Tesla Bitcoin airdrop, like could contribute, zero
Interesting.
point 0.1 Bitcoin, get like a chance to get 1 Bitcoin back. And I definitely fell for one of those. Like my first time ever seeing the scam, I contributed a little bit of Bitcoin to it, unfortunately. And then I immediately was like, what the fuck did I just do? Yeah.
We make fun of people who get scammed, but I feel like everyone has got scammed at least once in this industry.
Yeah, they were very sophisticated, seemed to capture the spirit of like what I thought crypto was at the time. And it's like, oh, I heard of airdrops. Like, let's dive in. And it was, yeah, absurd. And then YouTube would propagate through the algorithm these videos of like old conferences and old videos of Elon Musk talking about Bitcoin or Steve Wozniak talking about Bitcoin, Chamath. And the video would have like 100,000 viewers on it. So it's definitely like these bots were driving additional views. So it would show up on the recommended, like Steve Wozniak, like goes all in on Bitcoin. And then you'd click on the video and it would be like here's the donation address in Bitcoin, like to get your airdrop. And it was like that kind of ridiculous stuff. So maybe in post, I'll try to like find screenshots of like what those scams look like, because they're probably not around as much now. And then, yeah, through that project, got really exposed to just looking at the blockchain, the transactions, and like how they appeared on like a graph. You could track the flow of funds through different nodes, and that was a cool project. And then after college, participated in like a kind of like a crypto boot camp thing. This program, which I think is actually defunct now, they had people from the industry like basically do like a 7-week program where you would build like just a crypto product yourself, like a solo team in a group of other people, and you'd just present it to companies. And then, yeah, I did something kind of in the realm of like uncollateralized loan using like your credit score from like Web2, and just got a little bit of experience with like Solidity and understanding like certain DeFi protocols out there like Aave, and started reading also about the merge that was upcoming. This was like summer of 2020, and got a job at the company that I'm at now, which is like in Web3 infrastructure. And yeah, was investing a lot, and then kind of playing around with Uniswap. There was like that Uniswap airdrop. I remember it was like very big. And then, yeah, getting into the winter of 2021, there's just a hardcore bull market at this time. Like it was huge run up, I think, in Ethereum from like a couple hundred to, I don't know, like it broke.
I think it got to 4,000. It got up to 4,500, I think, or something close to that.
Yeah, there was a massive run up, and I was riding that wave, and I was getting into Aave loans. So I had accumulated a lot of spot Ethereum, and then was putting it into Aave collateral, and then just taking out USDC, buying more Ethereum, depositing it, and basically just levering up like crazy. And I was just
Nice.
addicted to the juice of
Yep.
all these insane prices, and like, just trying to follow all sorts of, I mean, I remember when CryptoPunks was like a couple ETH you could get one. I remember when Bored Apes like came out. I wasn't able to acquire those because like I just didn't think about it, but I
Mm,
was dropping multiple ETH on various NFT
nice.
projects, and like some of them would have crazy, crazy run ups, but I was just like very stubborn. And so there was just a crazy greed period and just froth for me,
Yep.
like up until May 2021. And then everything just came crashing down, got the liquidations, like all sorts of just bananas. So yeah, I would say that was kind of my degen life. And then professionally, like still have continued working at that same company still. That company has been, I'd say, relatively unaffected by a lot of the crypto market turmoil the past few years. So I think like being in infrastructure in crypto is like you get a very unique vantage point of what's it like to run Polygon nodes, Solana, what are the hardware requirements? Like, can this
Yep.
be ran by a solo staker, or is this just extremely expensive and hard to do so reliably? A lot of like cloud mining
Yep.
and validation, proof of stake. And yeah, also kind of similarly to you, just like a lot of DevOps, managing nodes, monitoring nodes,
Nice.
upgrading. It's definitely a grind. Like, you do learn a lot about just, you get a feel for the culture of the teams behind a lot of these crypto projects when you try to run their software. And
Yep.
there's just massive variation in like the documentation from one network to another.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah,
You
it,
learn a
it
lot about
sometimes
Linux
is very
too. I
hellish.
remember when I played
Yeah.
around, you learn a lot about Linux, which is really really cool part of it. You learn a lot about how like Linux works and machines work, and at a deeper level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You just like get all these Linux commands, and then sometimes if you like, you need a resync, if there aren't snapshots available, you have to resync the entire blockchain from like block zero, and that could take days or weeks. And like
Hmm.
there's all these kind of fears of like data corruption, and
Sure.
still very interested in all the projects that are popping up. I think like the ecosystem's evolved a lot. There's a lot of cool upgrades coming out around UX,
Hmm.
which are going to be very crucial.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, crypto definitely still has a lot of issues, and adoption, I think, is not where we want it to be.
Yeah.
So,
What was in 2017? Just going back down memory lane. What was your favorite shitcoin from 2017?
oh man, yeah, I think like it was really, honestly, like it was probably like just like Ripple, Cardano,
Ripple,
like
man.
iOS. Oh no,
I did good on
IOTA.
Ripple. I did good. I actually I
Yeah.
got into Ripple when it was like 25 cents, and then it went to $3. So I did, but of
Wow.
course, I didn't sell in time, and then I put it on Cryptopia. You remember Cryptopia, the exchange, the one
Oh my
that got
god.
hacked and completely disappeared? Yeah.
Wow. I don't even remember this. Which years?
Oh, this
2017.
is this was I think 2018. It was after the crash, and I had a
Hmm.
bunch of crap tokens on there, and it got hacked and basically disappeared. So that was kind of like my FTX moment.
Yeah, yeah, and I've definitely had some fun issues with Binance over the years where like, they decided, I guess the DOJ suit was out, they had to enforce like KYC, and then I got locked out of my account. So I don't even know
Ugh.
how much I had on there, but yeah, I think many people have just suffered great loss and
Yeah.
do it the right way.
When they say not your keys, not your crypto, they're not just making fun of you or whatever. I mean, this is serious stuff. I mean, I've learned the hard way. Like I buy my stuff on exchanges and I immediately take it off. I immediately get it off on a hard wallet because you
Yeah.
never know. You just never know what could
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, it is a lot of work, and getting the wallets to connect consistently for me has always been an issue. Like getting the
Yeah.
ledger to get recognized by MetaMask sometimes is like so hard. And
Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I have that problem
that
too.
was critical, like during when I was managing like these 6-figure Aave like positions, and then it was
Mhm.
like the health ratio is creeping up, and then it's like, all right, why is my ledger like I hit accept and then nothing happens? It's like,
Yup.
yo, dude, what?
Your
Like, I need
transaction,
this.
right? And then you try to go to
Yeah.
the block, and there's just like nothing there on
Yeah, it's like
Ethersand.
MetaMask
Yeah.
just like doesn't see it, and it's like,
Yup.
yo, I definitely did this like 10 times. Why are you not
It's
like
that still
cashing
happens
this
to
out?
me. I have no idea how they still haven't fixed this. It
It's
happened to me the other night,
horrible.
and I'm just like,
Oh,
it's so frustrating. I just want to stop and just leave afterwards. Sure, yeah,
we
let's
can
go
go
for it.
into
So just a quick message.
markets.
This podcast is just for entertainment purposes. We are not financial professionals. None of this is financial advice. And please consult a professional before you make any decisions. You could get wrecked. This is crypto. You know the deal. So I guess let's do a market health check here. So let's see. It is November 28th. Got the ETF spot pretty much in the bag, right? That's
Do you
everyone
want
thinks
to?
it's gonna happen.
I popped a few charts there, but yeah, we can look at honestly anything.
I can
Seeing
show
71 on the greed scale here.
Wow,
CoinMarketCap.
that's pretty high actually.
It is.
All right, so here is my trading view. I love this thing. I just bought the Black Friday deal. So one thing I follow pretty religiously is the MACD, which is kind of like a momentum indicator. So right now it's showing that we're going higher in price, but the MACD is going down, which essentially means the prices are going higher, but it's on less momentum. So I follow this pretty closely. It usually means that we're due for a correction. We may not get
So
it.
is that orange line the MACD, or what's the yellow one?
This one down here is the MACD.
I see.
This orange and blue. So like every time this happens, generally it's not a great sign. So like, you see here, we did it right here, right? We had this MACD come up and then it made a higher high, but on this lower mark here, and then it came down afterwards, right? But it could be different since we got this whole ETF thing. Things could just be totally different. It might keep going up anyway, but I'm wary here. I'm not buying too much here.
Yeah, honestly, so I occasionally follow, or I've been following it maybe in the last couple weeks. I've been seeing posts from this account, Quiver Quantitative. It's like Quiver Quant. And I noticed there's this Pete Sessions. He's just like unloading into treasuries, and he's just selling like everything. Like
now
100, yeah, like
oh boy,
traded November, dumped like between 100K, 250K into just treasury bills.
Damn.
And, yeah, kind of selling like a lot of stocks, but
okay.
Yeah, here's like another $1 million purchase in November. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's just one data point. Everyone's kind of doing different things
right
in Congress, but yeah, it does.
What is this, Quiver?
Quiverquant.com.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it has like a premium thing, but if you do search
Track Michael Burry, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like a pretty interesting site. It has like a lot of
track
free
Nancy
data,
Pelosi.
yeah,
I like this. Okay. Well, she hasn't traded in a while, actually. Wow. Oh wait.
Yeah,
June. Wow. Okay. What's Michael Burry up to? Woof. Okay.
It's going to him. Yeah, and you could even search by stocks. You could like look up like Coin. I think like Coin isn't really traded that much, but or like I actually don't know what GBTC would look like, but
Coin has been ripping lately, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Coin's been going
awesome.
Insane.
Good for them, man. I mean, they're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it over the next couple of years. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, no, they're going extremely hard right now. I mean, I think Kraken's under fire right now. I don't know exactly what's happening with Binance. I know that like I don't know if they got a full green light to operate in the US now after paying that fine, but I think Coinbase has just been going the compliant route, and they're taking victory laps right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been up and to the right basically since the Binance announcement. So I feel like I think this is a reaction to that almost, that they're the legit exchange. And aren't they also going to be the custodians of the ETF too?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna rake in money.
Yeah, they're going hard. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Interesting. Another
yeah,
guy I
I'm
follow
kind
was
of
into the cryptoverse. What's this guy's name?
Ben Cowan. Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I
Yeah.
think have a premium of his.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. I wonder what he's been saying lately. Actually, I don't.
Yeah, I haven't checked in on him in a little bit.
Yeah, I like him. He puts out videos. He admits when he's wrong, which is something that I really like in someone that does this stuff, because a lot of people just, they'll make a prediction, and then if they're wrong, they'll just delete the tweet, pretend it never happened,
Yeah.
stuff. And he doesn't do that, which is nice. But yeah, he was actually pretty bearish a month or so ago, and he just got wrecked because the price just ripped up. And
Oh,
he
really?
yeah,
Ooh.
he put out an apology video, basically like, actually he didn't apologize, but he just put out like, I was wrong, you know, all that, like I was very wrong and stuff. And I don't know, I had respect for that. That takes balls to do that.
Yeah, no, he comes across to me as like a pretty respectable dude,
Yep.
and like he's a smart guy. Built an interesting platform. I mean, his whole platform into the cryptoverse, you can
Yep.
overlay so many different kinds of indicators and like
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean,
cool.
I've been impressed at how great, like how significant of an altcoin season we're having right now. The alts have done quite well. I mean, some of my real world assets plays are just ripping right now.
What are the best performing alts right now?
I gotta say, Goldfinch is probably one of my best performers. Is it still on here? Let me see here. Goldfinch.
How long have they had a token for?
They came out during the last bull cycle, so I'm surprised it's done well, honestly. But it's been just crazy. I mean, look at this.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I got in around the summer, so maybe like this area, and it was just kind of trading sideways for a while, and then over the last this month, it's just ripped. It went from 40 cents to $1.40, and so I don't know
and
what.
they're on Coinbase.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, when you see price action like this, I mean, it could just keep ripping. I don't know, but I've been pretty impressed with this. But this isn't the only one. Cpool's done very well. All right, this is Centrifuge. It's done very similar move. Cpool has done crazy well too.
These are RWA.
Yeah. So those three in particular, but also some other small ones. Like I got Leox. Can I even put that on here? Galileo. Again, Galileo ripped too. So just that narrative is
As a
just taking off right
spiky
now.
chart.
Yeah, I know, but it's like a lot of my real world assets plays have done this.
Yeah, I haven't really developed an opinion on them yet. Like I think like a lot of them aren't really accessible, I feel like, to US customers.
Yep.
And so I don't really know of, like, I'm trying to think of the use case where it's like actually live, but I need to do more digging on that personally.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm a little skeptical, like how it's going to work from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, I could see it, the narrative playing out. I think like when people start tapping into just shared liquidity across like all different asset classes, I think it will be like a drug that people can't resist.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think having, I think the blockchains are going to need to ultimately regulate themselves somehow and build up probably more robust governance to kind of mitigate risk and there's probably going to need to be a whole new compliance framework. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think long term, I can totally see a world where this is like commonplace.
Yeah.
Just in the interim, I'm like,
I know. Yeah. I feel like we're still a cycle away from this, honestly. I feel like people are getting really excited, and it's like, we're going to get there immediately, but I don't think so. But the thing is, the hype is there and the narrative is there. And in bull markets, that's really all you need to drive price up. The fundamentals are mattering less and less by the day, I feel, already. We know we're getting to that point. So AI tokens have been ripping too. I mean, really just Tau, right? Tau has been doing well. Also, there's PAL token. I don't know if you looked at PAL at all. It's very new, but look at this action. I mean, it started at 2 cents and now we're at 14 cents. It peaked at 20. So,
What's the market cap on this?
Oof, I want to say it's like 150 million.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's mid cap at this point. It's a mid cap AI token. FET is another one. FET's been around a while. There's Ocean.
I don't know like what they're actually doing though. Like I feel like they're I don't know.
That's all AI tokens though, right? No one actually knows what any of these are doing, but they're provocative, right? They're sexy. That's why we buy them. You know, that's why they got the narrative too. You know, no one really is going to care about the reality until the bear market comes back. AI is hot, man. It's a sexy thing now. If you ask me what the next like real narrative is going to be, I think it's gaming. I think we're going to have a GameFi summer coming.
I mean, that's the catalyst of that. What's like the?
I think it would have to be a combination of games that are a game that is like people like watching on Twitch, and that really has like a lot of hype behind it. So like, there's been a couple games in the past that have been like this that my friends are into, where like it just takes over Twitch for a short amount of time, and all the streamers are on it. And I don't think a crypto game has done that yet, but I think that if it does and it kind of takes over the Twitchverse and the token price is going up and people are actually earning decent money from it, that I think could usher in a moment where everyone just decides to play all these crypto games. And if the token prices are going up, you know, that's going to create this flywheel.
Yeah. Is Axie still alive?
It is. It is still alive. I mean, it's actually been doing decently lately. I mean, it's above the 200-day EMA now and it's hanging out above it for the first time in 2 years. So that's a pretty bullish sign that things may be changing for Axie. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this do a 2 or 3x pretty soon. Honestly, I think that it's like one of the most oversold assets out there. So it could happen. I haven't played the game in quite some time. They seem a little bit aimless, to be honest. Like Sky Mavis, they're just like kind of trying out these new features and stuff. But they do still have an active Discord. They are still building. They also have Ron too, which is doing decently. The Ronin token and chain. So I mean, this could still take off. I mean, they also have other games on Ronin now too. So
okay.
Yeah, I think Sky Mavis still has potential, honestly. And I think people are sleeping on Ronin because of Axie, and it also got hacked a couple of years ago, and that was like one of the biggest hacks that happened. So some of the older people are probably not going to buy this because they're scared. But I think this has potential, to be honest. I mean, it was a month ago, it was at 40 cents, and now it's at $1.10. So
yeah, you know, I mean, that price action has such a huge impact on like how much a team can do, because I mean, there's a lot of teams that built up really big treasuries like during the bull and either sold out of it and basically were able to stay alive and continue building with great force during the bear. So I think, any team that was continuing to build the last 2 years is going to be, I think, in very good shape. For the following 2 years.
I think it also goes to show like their commitment as well. I mean, if you had a huge treasury and you could have sold out Axie Infinity was the asset last cycle everyone was talking about. I mean, it went from 50 cents to like $165. That's insane. I mean, that's better than Solana did. And they could have just cashed out and ran, right? I mean, it could have been over, but they decided to stick with it and keep building. So I think that goes to show the level of conviction in what they're doing. So I have nothing but respect for that.
Did you ever come in contact with the platform Recur? Did you hear
Yes,
about
I
it?
did. Yes, I got emails about it.
Yeah,
I
they.
I didn't I didn't think it really had much substance, but why? What you got a story?
Well, oh, I mean, it's a platform that, I mean, it's just yet another kind of Web 2 platform trying to, get into Web 3. They were centered around, I guess, Web 3 IP and branding and trying to sell NFTs for, and I mean, they had so many partnerships with like large entities and enterprises, but it was all in a kind of like custodial centralized platform.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, they were selling NFTs for like 300 or 600 a pop, like a couple years ago, and like their Recur Pass. And yeah, I think they were, trying to do some gaming plays that it went belly up. And I was
Oh,
getting an
damn.
email like the other day that you had to like get your NFTs off by like November like 26th or something.
Ooh,
And or it was like November 23rd, and I opened the email on 26th, and it's like, wow, this is just like a disaster. Like,
damn.
to have like a platform that's like not really like on a blockchain or non-custodial, but raising insane amount of money in the name of blockchain. It was just kind of like just a very big L overall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just kind of part of the cycle, right? I mean, that happens every single cycle. It'll happen again too. I think a lot of these AI projects have that written all over it. I think. I think you really the main thing is you just have to ask why the project has a token, and if you really can't come up with a reason why, or then it's probably not really going to last.
Yeah, 100%. Shall we touch upon, could talk about Vitalik's blog post
Sure. Yeah.
or
Go ahead.
yeah, okay. My techno optimism. So, yeah, I didn't have a chance to fully read it, but I did basically, yeah, I mean, I would say he's kind of taking like a middle of the road approach here of like, I guess, responding to a lot of tech hate that's kind of been
Mm,
popping up, especially with like the surge of AI technologies and tools. It's kind of like penetrating like everything that we
mm,
hear about in the news. And yeah, I guess he kind of brings up this concept of defensive acceleration. I'm not sure if you've like seen certain people with like the D/ACC, but essentially that is the the process of building up technologies that are like more about freedom and I guess protecting people's rights to freedom over more like centralizing technologies. So yeah, like resilient infrastructure, blockchain privacy tools, open biological research, and social coordination platforms and healthy governance. So I guess, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, I guess, a new philosophy or like political viewpoint that's popping up right now in
hmm.
response to people that are kind of like anti-tech.
A
I
lot
mean,
of
I
that as
think
well.
it's yeah.
There's a lot of pearl
I don't know.
clutching going on with AI right now. A lot of people pearl clutching.
Yeah, I don't know if you're seeing like in your circles, like like how many of the people in your circles are kind of like anti-tech or kind of like maybe like decelerationist, if you can call them that. Like, do you get
Hmm.
that sentiment a lot or?
A little bit. So, for example, I'm trying to increase AI adoption in my company right now because we have a lot of data that we're generating, and we need to start letting AI look at it and work with it and automate stuff, right? And there's some in the company that feel that we need to be careful about giving it certain data because, for example, like OpenAI or some of the products that AWS has been coming out with, which this week there's been a lot of stuff from AWS this week about artificial intelligence, and I want to start using it. And people from our company are like, no, don't give them the data, right? And that's kind of the main fear right now. And I mean, I understand. I get that it's scary. I ultimately think it's just because people have no idea how the hell this stuff works, and I think that's where the
Yeah.
fear comes from. But when you think about the reality, I mean, my company runs completely on Google. So all of our documents are in Google. A lot of them are in Confluence, Jira. So, I mean, these companies already have all the data. So I don't
Yeah.
understand what's so scary. When you have a meeting, do you keep your smartphone in the room with you? That smartphone's listening to every word that you say, right? So they're already taking all of our data.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. I think I understand, but I ultimately just think people just don't know how it works, and there needs to be more education about how this stuff really works. And I think that's really the way forward. We just got to educate people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think also he kind of references this. He did like this polling here. How would people rather have AI monopolized by some sort of government agency to try to control or like slow its growth, or would you rather just delay the technology entirely? And yeah, massive kind of support for delaying AI over having it monopolized. So I think that kind of is an interesting gut check. I mean, you could
Oh wow.
maybe his followers are biased because they're following Vitalik, but I think most people would probably kind of fall into that realm of like we probably shouldn't have AI like all in the hands of a few. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that is kind of just like more evidence for why blockchain having platforms on the blockchain to run AI applications or agents is like in the long run going to be cool. I kind of feel that way about like WorldCoin. Like people are very concerned about like the dystopian idea of like getting your retinas scanned. Like, at the airports, you can basically you're scanning your eyeballs to cut the line, like so you don't have to go through like the longer security line and you have to pay like an annual membership fee. But they're scanning your retinas and it's like a centralized platform. You don't know like what Clear is doing behind the scenes. Like your eyeball is definitely stored in like a raw file somewhere on some server. It may or may not be encrypted. We don't actually know. But people are like willingly signing up for that.
Yep.
And we have LinkedIn that did like a partnership with Clear. And I think, there's like the Web 2 solution of like trying to maybe mitigate Sybil resistance with, these getting like these Clear memberships to kind of like KYC you almost into the platform. But WorldCoin is like the crypto alternative where, they are at least claiming to use like ZK hashes of your retina so that it's like more private and you can opt out of having your eyeball stored somewhere in like a raw format. And
I see.
you can only prove that you're on WorldCoin, but you don't actually know whose like eyeball it is.
Sure.
Or like you don't know whose hash it
Interesting.
is. So yeah, I think like that. Yeah, it comes down to education.
Yep. But also, like, why does WorldCoin need a token though? Like, that's my big question. What's I haven't done much research. I haven't done much research, honestly. But A, why does it need a token? And B, why is it the fully diluted valuation 26 billion? The chart's okay. It's just the tokenomics are really, really weird. It definitely it makes me think of like Sam's tokens, back when Serum first came out and stuff, And I mean, I don't mean Sam Altman. I mean the other Sam.
Right.
I won't say his full name and jinx the podcast, but
and unfortunately, I did try at a couple of ETH Global events. WorldCoin was like sponsoring, and I went up to the booth and tried to get my eyeball scanned, and like it just like was failing for me for some reason. Like there's something about my like my account or something. It was not working. So I'm not like verified yet. But
it's because you're a lizard, Dan. That's why they can't scan lizard eyeballs.
They got me. They absolutely destroyed me.
I think it's an interesting discussion though of this AI thing. I'm actually pretty shocked at those results that most people would rather have AI delayed by 10 years. I think
where would you fall on that?
Ultimately, honestly, if I had to be honest, I would like it to be delayed 10 years. Yeah. Because I think that's a scary thought of having a few people in control of something that is essentially a computerized human race inside of a mathematical formula. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah, I think we need to keep it open I probably
Yeah,
need to like write more about it, but like I definitely think we want to keep it open. I don't want to like jump to conclusions on regulation just yet.
sure. We got
Kind
to
of
buy
similar to
Tau,
crypto.
Dan. That's the solution.
Dude,
Just
the
pump Tau.
Tau
That's
got
it.
towed up.
Just don't doesn't matter how it works. It's got a sexy website. It's got a great ticker. You know,
Bit tensor.
it's got great
Is that it?
tokenomics. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like the tokenomics are pretty decent. It's fair launched. The founder was on a Delphi podcast. His head's in the right place. You know, I mean, who knows if this is actually going to work the way he says it is, but you know
Use
what?
it to get an AI agent to kind of work for you in crypto. Is that kind of one of the
So not
features
exactly.
of?
So with this, it's essentially doing it's a network of validators and miners, and the miners, I believe, are the models themselves that produce results, and the validators verify the results. And basically, whoever's model is the best makes the most tau. So it's like kind of
Wow.
a yeah, and there's different subnets too, so you can create like subnets of models. It's very complicated. I that's like that's the most I want to explain it because I'm just going to get it wrong if I say anymore. But it's essentially trying to create a marketplace where like the best models win. So you could think of it as like Hugging Face, like a Hugging Face where
Mm,
people are paid for their models, essentially.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's a
I do wonder
yeah,
what the mechanics of it are actually like when you're kind of testing out the models.
right. And also, like, how do the validators validate? How do you validate the best model? Like, how do you know? I
Yeah,
guess
like is that subjective or are they like quantitatively measuring it?
right. Well, from the very limited research I've done, there are algorithms being used to validate models, and there's just, but this is a very ongoing area of research, and that's another thing about BitTensor is they do put out a lot of research reports, and they're trying to be like a legitimate research company, also like OpenAI is. Like they put out a lot of papers, and they want to be at all the conferences and stuff. So their heads in the right place. They're trying to go in the right direction.
Mm,
What let's just see as the price keeps going up if that continues.
very cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting product. How about the Jito token? If you don't know, Jito is a staking platform. It's a staking product on Solana. They've been active really this year. They also created a Solana client that helps. It's an MEV resistant client. So the token itself, the staking algorithm itself, makes money by. I don't know if I should. I'm probably going to sound dumb here, but they make money by preventing MEV essentially. Like they created this MEV resistant client, and that's how they are
Okay.
pumping money into the token. So I quite liked it because they have a client that's growing, they have validators, and Lido actually backed out of Solana a couple months ago. They capitulated in Solana. Marinade seems like the clear winner right now, as they have a pretty good staking. They've been around for a couple of years. There's Jito, which is now releasing a token, and they have an airdrop coming. So if you've been staking, they took the snapshot on November 25th. So if you can't get in
Damn.
now and get a token, yeah, sorry guys. If you weren't in now, you're
Oh,
you're late. But I'll get an airdrop. Yay! So I've been staking with them. So there's Marinade, there's Jito, and then there's Blaze. So Blaze is a newer one, and I'm in Blaze also, but I don't know if they're doing an airdrop. But they do have a token already.
so these are all staking protocols.
Yep. Yeah.
You
So
simply just delegate your Solana,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. You delegate your Solana, you stake it, but it's all about the MEV extraction. That's essentially how they're getting their staking APY.
Oh, that's Blaze Pizza.
Nice.
Soul Blaze. But I do think, yeah, I mean, that was another thing that came up at Connect. It did feel like Solana still does have that reputation in Ethereum.
Mm,
Like Cosmos doesn't have that same reputation, and I'm not exactly sure why. Like, I mean, Cosmos has a lot of, I mean, it has a lot of kind of vaporware projects on it, but it has a lot of
Mm.
interesting ones as well. They're moving to them, and customization is like very appealing to many projects. But yeah, Solana just there was very little, not a ton of love for Solana
Well, I think
at the
that's
conference.
because there was the narrative last cycle that Solana was the Ethereum killer. So I think that triggered the Ethereum community quite a bit, which is understandable. But like Solana never really, like when I interact with people in Solana, I never got that, oh, we're gonna kill Ethereum, like that's our goal. I've never really got that vibe. That was a narrative that I don't know who created that narrative, but I don't get that. Even like from Totally never really talks about that too much.
I
Yeah,
guess maybe they don't view Cosmos as a threat. They kind of view it as like a kind of like a little
a
brother
little brother. Yeah,
ecosystem. Yeah, and then like Solana is like just kind of like the cousin that's just like outside.
yeah. The guy she
House
tells
that's
you not
just
to
like,
worry about. That's what Solana
dude,
is.
yeah, that's
Yep.
way better.
Yeah,
Way
I
better
mean,
than cousin.
honestly, I think it depends on what you want, right? Like Ethereum is much more decentralized. It's more secure. No one's really debating that, right? And Solana is more centralized. It's more of a dictatorship in terms of how things run. They just make the decisions and you have to follow it, right? But that works quite well for them. And the fees are super low. And I think the user experience is better, to be honest. I think it's a better user experience to not have to worry about which L2 your project is running on, or having to bridge to different L2s all the time. It's a nice break from all that. So I mean,
Yeah, the
it's a different
bridging
offer.
is
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's quite insecure. It takes a while, right? It takes like 20 minutes for the most part, which is long in crypto. Our attention spans don't last that long anymore.
what are you supposed to do during those 20 minutes?
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the hate. I personally just like using Solana more, but I understand that there's risks too. I mean, the chain has gone down a lot in 2022 and earlier this year, but it hasn't gone down in the last 6 months or so. There hasn't been any big outages. So I'm a big Solana bill. I mean, you know that. I've been in our chats, drumming the Solana beat for quite some time, and I was getting made fun of. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
But I
dude,
think it
everyone's
actually that
hyped
delves
about Fire
nicely.
Dancer.
Yeah. I've been talking about Fire Dancer. It's another new client for people who don't know. It's a client that's run in. So Solana is written in Rust. This is a pure C implementation of Solana. So it's much faster, and it promises to drastically increase the speed and reduce the cost of Solana. So we could be seeing quite interesting things happen in a year or so once Fire Dancer gets some uptake. I think it's coming out next summer is the mainnet release. So
Wow.
one of the bad things about it is it's being developed by Jump. So you have to. I guess some people are uneasy with the thought of Jump having control over the blockchain like that if they get a large uptake. So again, it's just one of those things about Solana. It's more centralized, but I mean, I've always seen it as
Right.
I've always seen it as the Wall Street chain. It's the market chain. So I think if you want fast and cheap trades and stuff, and you want the Wall Street of crypto to run on something, it's going to be Solana. I think that delves into another thing I wanted to talk about briefly, which is the Atom fork. That's something pretty new, right? I think that came out yesterday.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, so I guess it's a reaction to the governance vote that failed some time ago, where they wanted to change some structure of the token, and now it's being forked into Atom 1 or something. Yeah, this is I don't know how to feel about this. This just seems like, again, points to further dysfunction with the Atom ecosystem. But the thought that like a governance vote doesn't go the way you want, so you fork the token is, to me, kind of crappy. I don't know. It's just
Do not follow us into Atom 1 and its descendants and argue that Exodus isn't allowed there. Okay, so the proposal A48 passed with 41% of the network's voting power versus 32% against, with 6.6 voting for a veto. Okay, so the proposal will see Atom's inflation cut from around 14% to a maximum of 10, reducing the APR from 19% to 13.4%. So those are already pretty significant APRs and inflation.
That's probably why the token isn't really moving that much. It's you're fighting against rampant inflation.
Yeah, it's just getting absolutely sold down. Okay. So relatively simple kind of vote. I wonder how that will so what I'm a little ignorant on is like how everything ties into Atom, like all the Cosmos app chains essentially. How did those direct
Yeah.
like funds back to the native Atom token?
Yeah, we're all wondering that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the point of the Atom token is at this point. Maybe it's my own ignorance, but the chains on Cosmos seem to be doing much better than Cosmos itself. So
Yeah.
why would you buy it at this point? Why wouldn't you just buy the app tokens? Like, just look at Say's performance compared to Cosmo or Atom or Celestia or Akash or literally like almost any big token, Osmosis. Like almost any Cosmos token has done better than the Atom token. So like what's the allure of it at this point? Why would anyone buy it?
Yeah.
And if the token keeps crashing and there is a 51% takeover or something, like how does that adversely affect all the other tokens? Like what's the big risk there? And if there is no risk, then I don't think there's a point to the token.
Yeah, I've definitely run infrastructure on it. It is nice running infrastructure from an operator point of view.
Sure.
Because like all of them are based on Tendermint and like relatively it's pretty
straightforward. The technology they're super
yeah.
talented. I mean, the actual tech is great. It's just the token itself is it's hard to justify its existence right now. I just don't. You should just buy Celestia or Kosh or buy Kuji or Injective or any of these tokens that are just pumping massively, and Atom's just kind of sitting there.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I think this is just a function of that. They're trying to pump the token price. It's not pumping, so they're going to fork it and lower the inflation rate, and they're just going to keep doing this until something works, I think. There was one interesting article I came across today. So Shrapnel, it's a game that's gotten a little bit of hype lately. It's like a first-person shooter game. There's rumors of an investor takeover happening right now. So there's a lawsuit from the team on Shrapnel against the investor because the investor is apparently trying to take over the token. So it's dumped a fair amount. It dumped 14% in the last 24 hours. So if any of you are brave enough and you want to get in on this, I don't know. I might ape into it a little bit because it just has a lot of hype.
Is this which chain is this on? Is this an Avalanche token?
This is Avalanche, yeah. Yeah, it actually seems like a pretty cool game. I haven't played it yet, but I mean, it's got a pretty neat little white paper, pretty comprehensive white paper.
Yeah, it looks like it launched pretty recently. Token November 8th. And what do we got here? So it's an FPS.
Yeah, I have to do a little more research on like the team but I mean, they seem to have, let's see, AAA team. What is this? Unique team. All right. I mean, it seems like they got a pretty substantial team behind this too. So could be something. So I don't know. I might buy into this fear, honestly. Yeah, there's this one. I want to play Big Time. Big Time seems kind of interesting.
Yeah. Big Time, then Illuvium.
Oh yeah, Illuvium. Yep. Aurora.
Very spicy. There's also there was Star Atlas. I remember that was like super hyped in like 2021, but they didn't have anything. It just had like NFTs.
Yeah, even still now, I think it's just like a web app. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a long time to build the game that they're trying to build. It's going to be next cycle until that game comes out. That's the reality.
It's like an Eve almost.
Yeah, it's going to take at least 5 years of development for this game to come out. Probably longer. These guys have been building. They lost a ton of money in FTX. When FTX, they had like half the treasury on FTX when FTX collapsed. So I mean, this team has been through. They've been through. If they make it out of this, they've truly been through hell. Yeah. So I got nothing but respect for these guys.
Yeah, I think maybe this is kind of like closing. I mean, I guess because could chat a little bit about Mark Cuban, and then maybe just a quick recap on DevConnect, and then any other kind of final things. But yeah, I thought this was just like kind of silly and goofy. I followed Jason like from the All In podcast. He's just like, okay, my first act as president is going to be like build 10 new cities in America with 1 million housing units each. And then like Mark Cuban's just like, I own Mustang, Texas. And then Jason's, send your request for proposal. And then Mark Cuban just kind of rambles this nonsense. So you were saying you will have a written smart contract on a ZKL2, which will check for a construction permit being issued, which in turn will create and send me an NFT that unlocks and delivers 250K in USDC. When the Oracle checks the property records and determines the house has been built, we will use a multi-sig wallet so we are both protected.
Wow.
Yeah. He just went ham.
Wow. So what's funny is the other guy wasn't even talking about NFTs or anything.
Yeah, not at all. He's just,
wow.
Yeah.
This is almost like Jason, if you said to ChatGPT, like, respond to this guy using as many buzzwords as you possibly can. I feel like maybe he's trying to prove that he knows what he's talking about. I know where he's going with this. He's trying to say, let's build it on the blockchain. But I don't know what he was trying to do here. I don't know what his goal was
honestly,
here. He's bullish crypto, that's for sure.
So sort of takeaways from stuff that I saw in Turkey. So I was in ETH, Istanbul, and DevConnect and Staking Summit, kind of all under the umbrella of like these DevConnect events. And basically it was kind of like an ETH Denver level event. So like a huge crowd, tons of events, probably like over 100 events. Felt like very EVM focused conference, several ZK, there's a lot of just hype around scaling and like
sure
ZK rollups, a lot of hype for like account abstraction and like the EIP 4844, which is improve scaling on like the layer twos and like decrease the costs for, transactions on those layer twos. Yeah. And then just like account abstraction for like smart wallets, making like wallet user experience more, I guess, like refined and similar to like a Web 2 experience.
I need to hit another one. I haven't gone to one this whole year, and Breakpoint's happening in Singapore next year. So might go to that because I've never been to Singapore, and I could use a trip to Singapore. So
yeah,
I might do it.
2024.
Yeah, I think it's happening in September, end of September. So 10 months from now. And they're always a good time. You get some good alpha. Meet some, so I went to the conference during the day, and then I explored Lisbon and some other places in Portugal also. So
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I try to mix a vacation in there with it because they're always in fun places.
Good stuff.
All right. So should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we're good to go here. Thank you to our listeners for listening to our
inaugural episode
podcast.
Okay.
See you guys next time.
Take care.